I'd like to share a revelation God gave me in the year 2023 before President Tinubu took over office. And also, I will establish why I am sharing the revelation now. In that revelation, I saw how that youths en masse in millions were rioting and protesting all across Nigeria. And they came across military and paramilitary barricades. And while the military men threatened to shoot, the youths came all out that the military can kill them, they don't care anymore. And I saw how pandemonium and chaos broke out. And the military began to appeal to them that we're all brothers, they should take things easy. I saw President Tinubu moving around in his presidential convoy, but then it seemed as if Nigerians had no regard for him anymore. They would just look at him and he will pass. Even the military aides who were around him will choose when they would go to work and when they would not go. It seemed as if the institutional fabric of this nation was tampered with, and people had lost every sense of trust and belief in this government. The reason I didn't share this revelation then is because I didn't see the need to, because the context within which its interpretation would make sense hadn't found expression yet. But this weekend, while spending time with the Lord, it was revealed to me how that this was the season the revelation was communicating. And God began to open my eyes to see what was coming, except the church rises up and the government itself also rethink the operational dynamics of the tax policies. Just to be clear, I am advocate for tax. I believe it ensures fiscal responsibleness, and also it will allow for us to be able to settle the loans that this country owes. As a patriotic citizen, I believe that Nigeria has the potential to become the greatest nation on earth, and I am also working towards that. However, God began to show me how that the internet fraudsters, also known as Yahoo boys, began to engage new schemes to steal monies from people's accounts and made it look like they were paying taxes. And then people will see themselves double taxed. And then they began to reach out to the agencies, and the agencies weren't accountable because they were ignorant of what was going on. And of course, that wasn't within the purview of their function by reason of the policies, the way the MOU and the tax policy was framed. And it became a serious challenge. I saw people entering into banks and harassing bank managers. They were literally pulling people out of the counters, and fights were going on. And there was pandemonium after pandemonium because people's monies were being looted out of their bank accounts. I also saw a younger generation. This challenge, this tax challenge, had such intergenerational implications that I saw the younger generation lose complete respect and regard and trust for the older generation. And people began to stop schooling. Crime came on the increase. People began to break in and loot shops at night so that they could feed, because monies were stolen from their accounts anyhow. I also saw violence break out where tax collectors, so to speak, came to people's houses and people brought out machetes and were cutting them. They literally chased them away with machetes. And there were so many cases of violence that the courts could not handle the cases. Even if the Nigerian state said they were going to arrest everybody, there were not enough cells and prisons to accommodate all the people that would be arrested. And so it was all about chaos. And then the Lord opened my eyes to see that this was beyond President Tinubu. There were non-state actors who were trying to push Nigeria to the brink, saying that the people are looking for emancipation. And so let's push them to the brink. If they will not comply, let there be chaos. Just like the children of Israel said they wanted to leave Egypt in the time of Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said, it is because the work is less. That is why you are talking of leaving. So now we are going to replace bricks with straws, according to the scriptures. And so it seemed like the spirit of oppression wanted to come again. The colonials' spirits, through their earthly human representations, had seen that Nigeria was going to break into a new season. And they began to look for ways to penetrate. And so God is admonishing the church to rise up in the place of repentance, consecration, and fervent prayers for this nation, so that we will not be re-enslaved and re-colonized, because it is one thing after the other. Whereas the tax policy is responsible, the interpretation carries, according to what we have seen, carries some nuances that reflect some clandestine operations. It is therefore important that we take this seriously. And the Lord gave the book of Daniel chapter 8 from verse 23 to 25. As ministers, I believe that as we read it, the Lord will give us understanding and we will know what to do according to what the time and seasons demand. Thank you and God bless you.